Our council meeting. You never saw me work before because you always thought I was lazy. I do stuff. Just hang in there. Tracy will take care of it. She's not talking to me,
Hey,
but
Ben,
she'll take
okay.
care of it.
All right,
Who was that?
Vinny.
Okay. Are you on the line, Vinny? Okay. All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
I'm not prepared. Hold on a minute.
Oh, my God.
Easy taking down names.
Not my fault. I came prepared.
This is good kind of excitement.
I like this, because anybody who gets sick, oh, we got the health care. We even have the colonoscopy person out there. So, whatever you need, now's the time to get it. Donna, I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm so surprised in this small town with no airport, nobody let you know about it. Now, some people would say I stirred the kettle. I don't want to mention names, Tracy, but I didn't tell anybody anything. I kept it quiet. Oh, 50 years of putting up with me. I'm surprised you're here. And I'm so bad that I got out of the car and I thought your sister was you. And I said, hey, Donna. So I guess my doctors over here, they're not treating my dementia. I'm pretty messed up. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Michael Blizia.
Here.
Vincent Cutterford.
Here.
Joseph Seibert.
Here.
Teresa DeAndrea.
Here.
Jeffrey Miller.
Yes.
Norman Ritchie.
Here.
And Paul Hadzik.
I'm here. And next, if we could have the invocation, Teresa, and the pledge of allegiance.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Bless us, Lord, as we begin this new year, to always be kind to one another and show respect to each other and give help when you need. It comes free of cost and it does not hurt. Amen.
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 Next, we need a motion to approve the minutes of the workshop and regular meeting of December 30th, 2024. If we could hear a motion and a second to the motion.
I had given you a copy of the workshop at your desk.
My desk?
Their desk.
Oh, I don't have a desk. So we need that motion and second.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of the workshop and regular meeting of December 30th, 2024.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. And next, we want to approve the treasurer's report. So we need
I'll make a motion, we accept the Borough Manager's Treasurer's Report.
I'll second it.
a motion's been made and seconded. Did you record that? That was
Yes.
Teresa, okay.
Yes.
Next on the list is the approval.
Like general,
All in favor?
all in
Oh,
favor?
I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I didn't think so. Okay. Next is the approval of the bills. Do I hear a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion, that we approve the bills.
And was that a second, Jeff?
I'll second.
Okay, I just checked.
Oh.
I thought I heard you mumbling.
No, I wasn't, but.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. Any other items of concern from residents only, and I hope that we're not all going to speak up out there about anything that's going on wrong in town, because it's really going well, but nobody has anything to say? Okay, we're gonna move on to business, and first thing online is the proclamation for Donna Romello, who has actually been as active in this community as me for 50 years. And she's been my nurse for 50 years. She kept me alive for 50 years. She talked me off the cliff for 50 years. She wasn't just a nurse. You could call her with any problem. She'd say, well, I'll talk to the doctor, but I'll take care of this for you. And I said, okay, should I see a shrink? And she said, no, don't even go because he'll probably take himself out. But you were so kind to all the people of Weatherly, and this council wanted to recognize you after they found that you retired. And the doctors, Dr. Sakarushu and Dr. Sakarushu, and they said it was okay if we try and do something. And Tracy, who you've worked with probably many times, probably everybody here you probably treated somewhere along the line. Whether it's, well, my case was always mental, but mostly it was physical, filling prescriptions. You were always kind, you were really generous. And council decided that we would do a proclamation signed by me, and I want you to come up front. I want to read it to you, and we want to honor you. If I can get through it. Don't cry.
I'm trying.
Get the tissues. Come on up here, Donna. And then this is, and if you guys want anywhere, if you want to move anywhere to take pictures, take your back. The Borough of Weatherly is proclamation in recognition of Donna Romello, January 27, 2025. Whereas Donna Romello, a registered nurse who has served the community and really served the community, it doesn't say that I'm adding that, and healthcare systems unwaveringly. For the past 50 years, Donna has shown true dedication to her work, and I'm going to add that is correct, and has always treated her patients with compassion, respect, and understanding. And whereas residents of Weatherly, I'm not saying this because, you know, as mayor, I'm not a strong mayor, but I am a representative of the borough, so I can say this stuff to you. It says, whereas residents of Weatherly and patients of the health organizations that she has worked for have come to know Donna for her kindness, professional care, unselfish devotion. Donna's work ethic and care is to be acknowledged with the utmost respect and gratitude. And whereas the Weatherly Borough Council acknowledges and admires the commitment and patience Donna has provided to her patients, especially me, during her years of loyal service. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Paul Hadzik, the mayor of Weatherly, Pennsylvania, does hereby acknowledge the 50 years of dedication, commitment, and emotional support that Donna Romello has provided to her patients, and I mean all of her patients, and the community, and I mean the whole community. Her 50 years of exemplified service as a healthcare professional is the type of care we all aspire to have. And witness swear of this 27th day of January, the year of our Lord, 2025, and it's signed by me, Paul Hadzik. Thank you, Don.
Paul,
I guess.
can I put it in?
Yeah, I'm sort of, I told you guys.
We have any water?
So, thank you. Thank you for everything. Anybody else want to kiss her, or do you want me to kiss her? Come on up. How are you guys? Okay, go on. Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, wherever.
Gonna turn around and stand there?
You just grabbed my butt, didn't you? No, you gave me a couple shots in that over the years. Oh, okay.
Hurry up.
Another round of applause for Donna.
I don't think you could find a nicer person.
What's that?
You couldn't find a nicer person.
It's a nice turnout.
I know where an employee will be here. Thanks for coming.
Pass this down to Jim. That's it. I said I'd save it to the meeting. Yeah, I told you I'd send you Jim, but I said since you were coming to the meeting,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
not her sister, it's just like her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's her sister.
Oh,
Did you recognize her when you saw her?
no. It's been a while.
Charlie Pizzetti was here.
It's been 28 years since I've seen her.
Lori,
Yes,
I'm assuming you want me to record this.
he told me to give it to you, so I'm
To
assuming
record,
so.
yeah.
That was nice.
Okay.
No, that was,
She was very well liked.
The next thing, it's not on the agenda, but it doesn't have to be on the agenda. We have most of our employees here. And there were times I talked to council members, and they don't even know who our employees are. And I thought today I'm doing a recognition of something, and I want to recognize the most important part of our community, and that's our employees. And you guys never get recognized. If the power is out, it's out for a half hour. If there's a water line break, you guys fix it quickly. If there's a sewer line break, you fix it. If we have a problem with the police go and fix it. And I just thought it was time that you guys get recognized. And I'd like council to really consider, at some time, if we can, if we open the budget and try to increase the salaries of our employees. And I wanted to say it in public, and I didn't want to go into executive session. I want it known that I looked at a study, and I think, Norm, you looked at one too?
Yes,
And I gave it to you. And we are so underpaid, it's pathetic. And you guys are hanging on 12 kV lines. You're in 15-foot ditches. You're doing all kinds of things, and it's not that our management doesn't want to pay you. I think they're sort of thinking that council would be against it. But is it true, Norman, that our employees are underpaid?
absolutely.
So there you go. There you have it. So I'm not gonna come in and shoot the bull at you in the Borough garage or out on the street or whatever. I wanted it known that I wanna make it public, that you guys are taking at the shaft. And I mean, you're taking the shaft. There are some studies that, every one of you are in that study, and it was 365 boroughs across the state, and everybody is $10 to $15 underpaid an hour. And is that correct, Norm?
On most of them, yes.
So I just wanted it known that council knows who you are. And because I could talk till I'm blue in the face, but then they'll say, well, who's Matt Quinn? Matt Quinn. I gotta go show you who he is. A lot of council members don't know who you guys are and what you do. For 7 months, each one of you guys are here today, and I was gonna say in the courtroom, but I'm not the judge anymore, but each one of you, you had the opportunity to work with me for 7 months, 40 hours a week, and that was 7 months straight. I volunteered. I wasn't getting paid. I didn't want to be paid. You guys work in unison. You put everything together. You do the right job. You get everything done. And at the end of the day, I don't know if you still have your peanut butter and jelly sandwich because you can't afford much other with the salaries you're getting. So I just, and you, but I don't know, I'm just saying, Harold, these guys gotta get recognized a lot better than what they are getting recognized. I mean, I know our police have a union, but they have their right to get what they have, what they need. I checked in with 2 unions for our non-union employees, and they'd be glad to jump in the mix and say, hey, we'll represent them, but you're not going to be paying them $25 an hour. You're going to be paying them $40 an hour. You know, so I just wanted this to get out there because there are so many things that are out there on the street. I'm causing trouble. I'm doing all kinds of things. I'm a bully. I'm a liar. That's not true. I am out to protect you guys and see you get a fair shake. And I can't do it alone. You have to work in both. So we need 4 people. I'm one. I don't know any other 3 that are going to stand up and say the same thing. But council, do you guys have any questions or any comments on that, what I just said?
Yes, I would like to thank him because I know I came from Drifton, okay, which is near Freeland, I'm sure everybody knows. And I have 2 sisters that live there, and they just could not get over how fast you people do everything, because it's not like that in Hazel Township or Foster Township. So I thank you very much because you have always been here, and you all respect people, and we respect you, so thanks for the great job. Well done.
I just want to say one thing. We all know who our employees are. None of us are blind or stupid. You know, I know each and every one of these
No,
guys.
you do, but some
And
didn't.
most of these people, I think everybody knows them. We all drive around. When we have a problem, we know who jumps. So it's not like they're in the dark. I mean, I think we got great employees. So, I mean, I think everybody knows who they are.
Well, I wasn't saying anybody's ignorant to the fact of who they are, but here they are. They're here. Look at them and tell them that you respect them and we want to take care of them. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I've heard before that, hey, we don't even know who the new employees are, we don't know who they are, and it's like, here they are. I mean, you know, it's, I think everybody here should have something to say to them.
Personally, I think they all do a great job. I mean, that's top of the line. And there was a girl that moved here from out of town. She raced here. She couldn't believe how well our street department kept the roads up in the winter months. So, I mean, personally, I always thank these guys. I call Harold up and tell him, hey, great job.
I see.
If we have a power problem on the, you know, we appreciate it.
Well, sometimes they don't feel like they're appreciated. So that's what I was trying to get at.
There's not too many people that would go out to a water main break like they did last week when it was 5 below zero, and they got it fixed, and in a minimum amount of time.
I agree. And they could tell you that a lot of times I was on the job with them. I was useless, but I was on the job with them. I was there for moral support. But I think they appreciated the laughs, you know, nothing else. Do you have anything to say, Jeff?
I do appreciate the work they do because I tell everybody that they're on top of everything. Yes, I do.
I guess I'm up. I did thank a bunch of you guys, and I think the ones that came to the meeting for the aqua thing, right, I had a lot of questions based solely on what was for the benefit of the employees. Josh, you can attest to that, right? Not all my questions, but the bulk of my questions were that. But when we did our tests and studies, it's one thing to say $15 an hour, but did we do any numbers for what this would actually cost the borough a year if we raised everybody?
If we raise everybody's salary $15?
I'd like to give them $100 an hour, but what can we afford? Did anybody run any numbers on what this would cost?
No.
No, well, how do we know if we can give you guys, do we know what the numbers are? Like, I don't know.
Well,
I'm very appreciative,
Oh,
the
Mike.
whole town is.
Mike, you have a copy of the budget, don't you? Figure out do you know what the budget is?
Yeah, I do know what the budget is.
Do you know where the money is?
I know from what I got in papers, that's all I know. That's all I know.
That's where the money is.
I wanna know what the impact is. What's the impact on raising the rates that much? Well, how much more is it going to increase the budget? That's all I'm asking.
Well, when I missed the meeting, the first time in 5 years, you guys did all kinds of stuff. You raised the rates on water, you raised the rates on electric, you raised the sewer rates. I wasn't here. So why don't you tell me what the rates, what that impact was, how much money is that going to bring in? Because I don't know, and I thought we were going to vote on that later on, and I would definitely vote no because I don't have any numbers before me to say, if we raise the electric this much, this is how much we're going to bring in for the year. If we raise the water, this is what we're gonna bring in. If we raise the sewer, no, you guys did it behind my back, which is okay, but I was sick. So why didn't you figure those numbers out before you voted yes for it?
We voted to what the increases were, what the costs were increasing across the state.
Well, let me ask you.
It was a reaction.
What's the impact?
It was from what, Harold, $5,000 a month to $50,000 a month, right? Wasn't that our transmission numbers?
Yeah.
Right, so that's our impact, $45,000 a
And
month.
what was the sewer?
The sewer was last raised in 2008
Oh, I
at
know.
10%.
I know when it was
And
raised.
Norman argued on behalf of the borough worker, or on behalf of the borough, because we're raising taxes. Whenever we raise taxes, do anything, does everybody hear it? Everybody hears it. Everything lights up. But at the end of the day, where is he? Does the sewer need work? And where are we getting the money from? We're still on
Okay, well-
1975, I'm exaggerating, 2008 rates.
Well,
That's what I know.
it was my idea to raise the rates. And then all of a sudden, you guys raised the rates, but nobody ever said, oh, well, raising the electric rate, we're gonna take this much more in a month. When we raise the sewer rate, we're gonna take in this much more. When we raise the water rate, we're gonna take in this much more. Nobody ever came up with that number.
That's not true. You ran matrices on those numbers, didn't you, for the electric?
Yeah.
That's not
I
true.
never saw them. So, where's that money going?
I just said it's going to our transmission fees that we have to pay $45,000 more a year.
Okay, well, the sewer isn't going up, the water's not going up, it's gonna be the same water, same sewer.
We're losing money every month. On both of those fronts, we're losing money every month.
No, we're not. We make money on the water and sewer, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's a profit on water and sewer, and there's a big profit on electric. That's our cash cow. If we shut the electric down, we are done. we are finished. We're gonna raise the rates to a max of 30 mils instead of 10 mils. I'm just saying, there is a profit with water and sewer every month. And why aren't these guys getting compensated out of those profits? Now, you gotta know how much it is. Do you know how much it costs just to generate power 1 month for the sewer plant?
$7,000.
$8,900. And do you know what it costs for the wells?
And how much did the electric go up for, with our new rates? How much did the cost for the electric per month go up for the sewers?
And
Did we even cover that with our, what we increased
yes,
it?
yes.
But
That
we-
was the
but-
primary, the
Because
reason
the
for
cost
the
increase.
increase was.
So we're not really any better than we were in sewer 3 months ago. The cost goes right to the new electric. These are the numbers. This is the facts.
I know. You're saying these are numbers, these are facts. I'm asking you, what are the numbers? What are they? I know what they are. You tell me. You're telling me you know. You do not. And these guys deserve a lot better than what they're getting. And there's money there available. The water and sewer, every month, there's a profit. Before you guys raised the rents, or raised the fees, when I was off sick, you guys raised the fees. Now, you raised them up, you didn't give them jack, nothing.
They
50
did
cents?
get a raise this year, PJ, right?
50 cents, $1?
They got more than that. So I don't care.
No, they didn't.
Where did you come off with that? You guys are in fantasy land.
Well, you know, you're the one who wants to give everybody $20 an hour more. Where are you going to come up with the money?
Social Security
Social Security.
and my 2 pensions that I work for?
Where are you going to tell everybody in this town that they got to pack up and leave because they can't afford the taxes because our mayor wants to pay everybody triple the money?
I did
You
not.
know, we can work with it a little bit, but you're going outrageous, $10, $15 an hour.
I don't-
And you know that.
I don't think
You're
it's,
trying to smile in front of all these people today, and you're being a
Guys,
joke. You're being laughed at.
guys, are you guys laughing at me? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I never mentioned $15, $20 an
You
hour.
said $10 to $15 an hour more this
I
year.
said there were,
That is your quoted number.
There is no reason why we have to yell and scream, and let's act sensible, please.
Because this has become a personal vendetta with him, and
If
that's
it's a
starting the
personal
problem.
vendetta, this is not the place to do it. Thank you, okay? These people came not to hear people argue back and forth. Am I correct?
well, I wanna ask, does any employee have anything to say? Am I trying to squeeze the borough and say, and believe me, you're in a safe place. Nobody's gonna get fired. You're, probably a lot of you are afraid, like, oh, I'm gonna take hell tomorrow. That's not true.
We don't operate like that. Stop it.
I'm just saying, I just wanna, go ahead.
So my name's Corey Gerhart. I'm here 30 years shortly. The only question I have, and I say this vaguely, and again, Mr. Hazick mentioned about union, non-union, that's irrelevant. But I just wanted to say that I've seen the way you guys kind of negotiate, and I'm just going to use our police officers for example, which are unionized. So they have someone to communicate with you guys to see where they are, what they're asking for, what you will negotiate to give them. And unfortunately, we don't get any of that. We get what we're given. Whether it come from Mr. Putliner, Harold, council, we don't get anything. So to say we got $1, like I know guys that got 50 cents, but I bet you I know cops or police officers that got more than $1, $1.50. And why? Because they're a police officer? Their job is just as dangerous as us linemen. And I can tell you, our linemen, we are the lowest paid, not in the county, but in the state. You pull any other lineman's job up, we're nowhere near that. And I agree with Mr. Miller. Listen, I'm not looking for 10, 15, but if you're trying to keep a police officer competitive with their pay, keep a lineman competitive with the pay, to some degree. Keep a water operator competitive with the pay. Keep a sewer operator competitive with the pay. Get it? We know we're in a small community. We get it. But be fair. You're fair with a union. You try to be fair with a union. Just be fair with us. That's all we're asking. Again, I can show you a video. $25 an hour today, You can't live on your own. You gotta live at home with mom at $25 an hour. That's true fact. And my last thing I wanted to say, with our pension, I'm just gonna use that for an example, under 30 years. We haven't done anything in 30 years to make that any better for a guy who like me is gonna retire. It's the same as it was, the same formula when I started here, 30 years later, it's still the same. Hasn't gotten any better for me.
Well, Corey, I just want to tell you one thing. I ordered 5 studies of the pension plan. And I saw the studies, but you guys, it wasn't discussed with any of the employees. There's 5 different ways that they could handle this retirement. So it's been looked at. You guys haven't been, nobody reached out to you and told you, there's 5 different ways you could do it. And I think the only people that should pick the pension plan are you guys, the people working. Because you're gonna use the pension plan, not me. I mean, I'm already retired with 3 retirements, so I mean, I could give $15 an hour if I want to, but that's not what I said.
And just last question, I just want to use Mr. Miller for the example. Mr. Miller, what do you do for a living?
Heavy-duty mechanic.
Are you paid roughly what a heavy-duty mechanic makes?
Absolutely not.
Can you show me the comparison of roughly what you make to what a true mechanic makes?
Probably in the city of Darien, they probably get $10, $15 more an hour than I do. But I am dedicated to my job, my company, and I'm proud of what I do. And this area is a low-paying area for mechanics and for everybody. We're not a big city. We don't have millions of dollars to spend. And raises just aren't great. Because I even told my boss, you know, I feel he called us lazy and stupid because they don't want to give raises.
Well, Jeff, I have a question for you. Do you actually think that I would be recommending that we give a $10 or $15 an hour raise?
Well, you're planting it in people's heads. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Listen.
But you know, you gotta think feasible.
Well, if I had to plant it in their head, then you're talking that they're stupid. These are the smartest guys that you want to deal with. They know what they're talking about. They know what they need.
I think what he was trying to say is what Norm said about the study, were 10, maybe I misheard this, were we 10 to $15 and under off on every wage?
Most of them.
No?
No,
Most of them, and we were over on some.
we were over on some. We're probably, I'm gonna say maybe $5, $6, $7 off the average of $1,000 to $4,000 community.
Well, what we have to do is have to sit down and.
But there are wages that are way
Yeah.
over here,
Oh, yeah.
that are way over.
Not by any guy sitting out there.
No,
Well, I have a question, you guys. Did yous come here of your own will, or did he come invite yous here?
I invited them.
Okay.
Because I wanted to introduce them. Go ahead.
We decided in the garage as a group that we were coming. He did not persuade us to come here.
I just said that they're welcome to come here because they work here.
And I tell them that every time I see them. I tell Josh that all the time, come to the meetings. And if we had these studies, how come nobody but Norman saw them?
Because I printed it off and told them where to print it off because it was in the Borough magazine. Why don't you read it? It was right in the Borough magazine. All you had to do was download it.
Well,
I guess you don't read it.
I do look through the
You
articles,
should look
yes,
at
I
it
do.
because there's a lot of there's a lot of regulations in there. And something's on this agenda today about changing our form of government because it's asinine. And I think we should do a referendum. And from what I understand from the election bureau, our solicitor just has to sign a real simple referendum, and the voters could abolish this government. We can go back to a strong mayor government like every other municipality around here. And then the people that want to become mayor when I leave, they'll have a field day. They could have a good time. So, because I already heard that, you know, that, oh, I'm going to be the next mayor. Good luck. You know, because right now the mayor, and see, on our form of government, the mayor is not a strong mayor. The mayor, under the Commonwealth Court and on Title 8 and Title 53, if you read them, says that the mayor is the chief law enforcement officer in any municipality, not in this government. Matter of fact, if we had a strong mayor form of government, I wouldn't even be sitting here because you could vote me out every year and you could vote in a new council president. I'm elected to be council president. I'm elected to be this mayor to do ceremonial things and declare emergencies. That's it. I don't control anything. So it's the way our government is. It's 50 years old. It was adopted in 1976, if anybody did their homework. It was changed in 1967. And in 1976, Mr. Romberger was president of the council, and he signed it into, I think your dad was the solicitor at the time.
My dad was solicitor when they did this, yes.
It's 50 years old. If you talk to Ron Grutzik, which I know some of you guys did, he is with the Legislative Affairs with the Boroughs Association. He said, our government is far and few between. So far and few between that in the state of Pennsylvania, which is a big state, there's only 5 municipalities that have this idiotic government that we have. And that's why it's out of control. There's only 5 municipalities have this form of government. And you can fact check me on it because it's true. And that's why it's on the agenda that we want to get it abolished. And then we can move forward and do the right stuff. So, and to answer the question, I did not call these guys and say, come to the meeting, whatever. I did not tell them they had to be here. I didn't tell them anything. I think they're here on their own free will. And I think they want to hear what we do. Because they work all day, they're not coming to a meeting. And I'm not quite sure if we get anything done at these meetings sometimes. But as far as a $15 or $10 an hour raise, I'd love to say, let's do it tonight. But I know that's not feasible. They just want to be treated fair. And that's what I see out of it. And it doesn't matter because you don't make it, Jeff. You don't make that much money. It's what they're worth. And I just say that they're very valuable to me.
We treat our employees well. Maybe we don't pay close to what other boroughs and towns do, but as far as treating our employees, they get treated well.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. They don't care about us bringing them cupcakes or anything. They wanna take a paycheck home. That's treating them well. Like being nice to them, that's easy to do. I can be nice to all of them. But if they can't feed their family, I think we're abusing them. That's what I was trying to get at. We do treat them nice, and we always say hi and wave, and hey, how you guys doing? You know, when you need stuff done around town, they're right there to do it. But anyway, do any of you guys have anything else to say? Sorry, I think I said it all, but I promised myself I'm just gonna speak up. But if you don't have anything else to say, does any other council member have anything to say to our employees?
Yes, I think they do a great job, okay? Because I always compare you with where my both sisters live. And they just can't get over how fast everything gets done in comparison to Hazel Township, Foster Township, and that's it. I appreciate everything you do, and I have to also say, I appreciate the police force. They're always there for us. And I wish we could pay them much more than what we do, because if they're not there, the police are there. They've done a great job. I had a daughter who was very sick. They were there all the time for me. I didn't have to wait for Hazelton to come in, that she could have died in between. I'm very proud to live in Weatherly, and I thank all of the employees for the good job. And I wish and hope that we could work something out to pay you people more. I mean, nobody wants to pay people the price they're worth. I know maybe we can't, but I, for one, will agree that, everybody deserves a raise. A job well done, so I have to say that because I'm proud to live in Weatherly, because anytime the cops, okay, the police, the borough people, they're always there. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait a week for them to come and fix something. Thank you.
I for one would vote yes for a negotiation committee if it was set forth. I would vote for that, to meet with you guys every year. That would be my vote if that would ever come up.
It's not just money. Things are falling apart all over town.
Well, I didn't get to that, Brad, about your 30 and 20-year-old truck and 20-year-old
They're
back.
fixing water mains one clamp at a time, like there's no plan. Like there has to be a plan, and there is no plan. And that doesn't even have to do with the street department. But I'm the guy out there with these guys fixing it. There's no plan. One clamp at a time. I know there's only so much money, but you gotta make it, you gotta change the way things are going.
Well, I don't know if council's aware of this, but I am. We have a backhoe problem. Is that correct?
Well, apparently it's a 5-star get fixed.
Bill, from what I understand, it's gonna cost $11,000 to fix it.
Correct.
Right.
And that was transportation and rental fees.
The backhoe is 20 years old. They're running antiques. Actually, we should take the municipal government plates off and put antique plates on our street department vehicles. Everything is old. There's no, when you say a plan, there's like the police. They have a plan, like every so often they get a car and they have that all worked out. How come nobody else does?
Not just an equipment plan, but infrastructure.
I know what you're saying.
Like, equipment's a small part of it, it's everything else. Like, Harold and I were on Pine Street looking at the walnut plants. I mean, there's gotta be plans for that stuff, and there's no plans. And it all comes down to these guys. I mean, Harold calls and he wants something done, well, we don't have a plan either.
Yeah.
I mean, you could sit in your meetings in here once a month and say everything's great, there's sunshine and rainbows, when it's really not sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, I know. I've been with you guys for 7 months straight.
I hate to break it to everybody in here.
No, it's, no, that's an honest assessment. You know.
We had no problem spending $800,000 at the firehouse for a fire truck in 2 meetings. But we can't have a meeting to replace a water line or sewer or fix something else. You see where this is leading?
Oh, it could go deep. I
We
mean.
can spend all night here, and I don't wanna derail your agendas.
Oh, you're not.
It's
We
just-
don't have that much to
stuff
take
that
care
has to
of.
come out the wash. If you want us to come to every meeting, we can do that. But it's just things that have to, there's only so much money, I get it. But there's gotta be a plan.
I go with Mike that you guys should organize and get a couple guys together and a couple council people should get down and sit down in here and say, hey, let's figure out what has to be done. Because I'm not defending anybody, but I'm just saying, there are a lot of time, council, they think everything's just going fine. It's not.
I mean, Harold and Tracy and I looked at grants for paving streets, there's not much out there left. I mean, but something, you gotta look for it somewhere. Or put it in a budget to replace, the substation or something.
Well, I understand the substation needs work, is that correct? Like for a while now.
Since the last time we did it.
Some of it got fixed.
The majority of it got fixed. We're talking the recloser area. That went from 55,000 to 100,000.
Right. And then we have
Overnight.
upgrades that we have to do with the water department, in our wells. I'm aware of that. That's money. But it's something that we have to do because DEP says we have to do it. So.
Well, here's another big one, is the meters.
Huh.
We shut people's water or electric off, and then 2 days later, we gotta go read these meters. It's not safe for some people out there right now, because people are looking at gonna take their heads off because of it. Lori deals with it every day when they come in here and they deal with it. They're mad and they take it out on you.
Well, just to respond that I know of, I think Corey and Brad Leto could tell you three years ago, right out back in this building, we talked to the people who could supply meters, and we were supposed to get a pallet load a month or something. I don't think we got one meter.
We replaced some.
Yeah, but they're not remotes.
No.
That's what I was talking about, that we don't have to go read them anymore. And not that it's taken work away from me, but it's a lot easier for them in the office to control, instead of cutting somebody off like we do, like prehistorically, you could sit here and sort of just limit their power to 30%. I've seen how remote meters work. So then if you want to shut your power off, then you use more than 30%, you're gonna shut your power off yourself. Shut your Christmas lights off in July. You know, it's like ridiculous. But that's the type of stuff that we should be looking at and planning. And that's, problem is, when I talk to you guys, I talk to you like sort of individually, so I never talk to you all at once. And that's why I said, why don't you guys just come to a meeting, you do that. And here you are. Anybody else have anything to say? No? Any council people?
I gotta say this, my concern is, we were way over on the budget last year, and I think we gotta start tightening up our reins, and if we do, these guys can get a raise.
How do we do that, Norm?
I don't know, gotta cut the spending somewhere.
How do you suggest? Wait, maybe this guy will tell me. Yeah, Philadelphia. I don't know. Are there any suggestions with that? I know we got way off the agenda here, but don't be afraid to say whatever you want.
Oh, I'm not afraid, there's gotta be stuff that's getting done that doesn't need to be done. That's just my opinion. And there's stuff that needs to be done that's not getting done.
Anybody else have any suggestions?
Then instead of just talking about it, then you have a meeting and you discuss it, and then you'll know where you're at. Am I right?
Yeah. But the thing of it is, we talk about it, we don't do anything about it. That's the problem. I think sometime in the near future, something's gotta be done.
I think we
Instead
better
of
grow
just
a money
talking.
tree.
What's that?
We better start growing a couple money trees,
Yeah.
because really, there's only so much revenue to work with. That's our number one problem. And then we all got ideas, but to put everything to work,
Well, the ideas I have, they're not, it's not something that is a new idea that something new is going to happen. The street department, they have three vehicles that are old. We have to replace that. That's just a given. These remote meters, that's been talked about for, does Leahy have remote meters? No. No. That was talked about, and we didn't do anything about it, and I don't know what we're doing about it.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
We did look into them, and the prices were just exorbitant. For electric alone, it was over $300,000,
Yeah.
you know, for the meters.
$332,000,
And-
but the first price was $500,000.
Right,
And
so,
then these guys went out and got a cheaper price.
well, we just met with a firm last week. Dave Mayo brought someone in. We're waiting on a quote from them, you know, on it. And also, Amp Ohio is supposedly, for the job remaining in the substation that has to be done, through the Appalachian Regional Foundation or whatever, is they have grants available for us to be able to do that in the substation, and also we would include the AMI in it. And we don't even have to write the grant. We're waiting on the information to come back. There's a company that will write it for us
I thought
at no charge.
I thought they weren't doing it.
Who?
Amp Ohio. I thought they weren't writing the grant.
They're not writing the grant. There's another organization through the Appalachian Regional Commission that does it.
Oh.
So we are looking into these things. We're just waiting for numbers to come back from Dave Mayo's people. And we're waiting on Amp Ohio to get back to us on their information.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that the council appoints a committee to sit down with the borough workers and set a date, right? Want anybody
I'll
second that?
second
A
it.
second.
Okay, go ahead.
I think if you guys decide to do that, I don't think it should be the same council members all the time. I think you ought to mix it up. Because things get lost in translation, trust me.
That's why we're sitting here. So you hear it from
If you wanna do it every month, that's fine.
Well, I
I think
hear
it
it from
ought
the
to be,
horse's mouth tonight versus hearing it down the pipeline
I
somewhere.
think it ought to be different council members each time.
We're always.
We're all,
I'm agreeable to both.
Well, they want to make a motion that all the council, it won't be an official meeting, but if you want to get together and talk with everybody again, like we are now, I'm okay with that.
You know, while you're talking, and I just have to back Harold when he said that, hearing what, if you guys are listening, what Harold just told you about how prices keep going up.
Yes.
So we don't gamble on doing the meters now at 200,000. Where do you think it's gonna be 3 years from now? Like, nothing is going cheap. Give you an example, back to the electric. We've got a price on pole on the end of Hill Street and, where is it? Hill and North. We can't we don't have enough rubbers to rubber it up. Let Harold tell you the price, though, we've got a company to come and replace that pole. Then you'll see what you realize what 3 of us would do if we were to do it versus what it would cost you if a company came in and did it. That's kind of where we're at, like, that's what we're just trying to let you guys know to appreciate. Like, listen, we know we're not PPNL, but we're doing the same stuff they are, and we're doing the same stuff that all these other utilities are doing. Like, treat it as a business. You gotta treat it as a business. We feel like, and I'm just saying this for me, we feel like everything's going up, but we're kind of like China wages. We're cheap labor for you. And again, like Brad said, Rainbows, every day you get up and say, oh man, the power's on today, water's running, everything's good. I don't know. I look at it different. Again, I wouldn't compare, Mr. Deluzia has a business doing shirts, mechanic, truck driver. I know what truck drivers, like Mr. Cutterford probably does very well as a truck driver if he's still on board. Like, we won't be doing it.
Lost them.
The only thing I suggest, Brad, is only because there'll be maybe such a wide amount of thoughts and ideas to maybe build up to the full council meeting, maybe keep it a little bit smaller group, just to try to get some of the major stuff out. I mean, I'm okay, I'm agreeable to both. I'll just say that if you get a room full of 6 people, it's a little easier to stay on track than a room full of 20.
listen, we know that there's not a money tree out back. But there's gotta be planning for the future, there is no planning.
But I want to hear that.
The most we plan for is the upcoming hill plan.
And I did ask Harold, and as far as the meter readers, I didn't realize, but Harold may aware, it never occurred to me how dangerous it is with dogs and all that craziness. And
Well, in the winter.
I talked about it a couple times, like, isn't there a company we can buy a couple meters? Like, if we can't swing,
No,
The problem with buying a couple meters too is not gonna work, because by the time we got the whole town done,
It'd be outdated.
It's gonna be outdated, you won't be able to buy a cell
Yeah,
phone.
when we're looking at this AMI system, there are specific meters that have to be used for this, and that's what we're looking at with that Dave Mayo group and everything else.
And Harold, you can vouch for that in the very beginning, 30 years ago, we started replacing countries.
Yeah,
We actually had another program, but we just couldn't, you just can't replace them fast enough to be able to do it.
well, there for a time, you couldn't get a meter, and then they started going up to what, 100 and, what are they at now?
Probably like 150-ish.
150-ish, yeah.
But I guess.
But the
my
thing
point
is-
we're trying to, like, if you can't say, hey, we can't afford 200,000 for whatever, is there a way for us to pick at it or chew at it, or, I mean, like you said, planning, like, just try to start getting the ball rolling, start somewhere, you know,
Start
so.
running it like a business and not a charity organization. We're going out frozen water meters. I don't know what the borough charges anymore, but we had suggested 130 just for the meter. That might barely cover what it costs us. Now you're sending two of us out there on top of it. The bill should be $250 or better to the homeowner for a frozen meter. It run as a business.
Well, gentlemen, a lot of this all comes up to the fact in utilities that the rates have to be upped in order to meet what you're looking for. And for the longest time, you can't, you're meeting that.
You and I had a discussion about the tap-on fees,
Yeah,
and these guys probably didn't realize how low they are for
We
what
did.
they're doing.
we raised them,
Did you?
2,400.
Yeah, when you're doing a tap, 1,200, whatever it was, 12,
Yeah.
it's totally out of the picture. When you're talking 40 ton of stone, 12 ton of blacktop, the guys, I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
You gotta get with the times with some of that stuff, I mean, it was. Tap-on fee, it's 2,400 here, where I live right now, just the sewer tap-on fee is $14,000. Okay, just to give you an idea.
For
That's-
residents.
For a resident, for a new house build, where I live, a tap-on fee for sewer alone is $14,000.
is that just a tap on?
That is your grinder pump and your
Oh,
tap-on fee.
well, that's the grinder
Oh,
That's
pump,
the grinder.
They're paying a crew, you're paying
Right.
for the pump.
but you're paying for the grinder pump too,
That's
right?
$7,000.
Yeah, okay.
And we have the world lighting on fire over a $5 increase in water.
I understand that.
$5.
Oh, I get it.
Like throwing ropes over tree branches.
Because we're just spoiled. Yep, spoiled. Remember, it is that.
Tax anticipation.
Sorry. Well, I think that was all good discussion.
Well, we have a motion and a second on the floor, but that's as far as
Well,
we
the
got.
motion it was made by Councilman Blizzard and seconded by Councilman Seibert.
And we didn't go any farther.
And that was to, well, I thought there was discussion whether it's going to be a couple people switching off and on, or is it gonna be all of council?
And just letting you know it's still sitting there before we go on to something else.
Well, we could figure that out.
Once
So-
every quarter, once every quarter, do it. Once
He's
every
just
quarter.
saying he just made a motion to form a committee to meet with the guys.
Yeah, I just.
He
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
elaborate or
Do I have
anything
to be
else.
on
And
a
I
rod?
seconded it.
And you
yeah.
seconded it, yeah,
Yeah.
it was just to form the committee at this
Okay.
point. But
All right, all those in favor to form the committee?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, the ayes have it, and I will determine who goes on the committee, when they go on the committee, and we'll do that every quarter. That's what you recommend, right? It's just to keep the line of communication open with you guys. Because sometimes I get the feeling that you guys are left out in the cold, and you are out in the cold, but it's like, that's the way it is. Anything else? All right, let me move on to the resolution for the tax anticipation loan. We need a motion to approve the resolution,
Yes.
Yep.
and we need a second.
I make a motion, we approve the tax anticipation loan for this year.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Next is discussion on the 2025 road paving program.
Yes, I have two different roads here, but with the liquid fuels allocation that we have, we're only gonna be able to do one of the two roads. Now, I have Second Street down from Carbon to Blakesley, and that also includes milling, you know, the curb lines. And we have North Street, from the east dead end down to Allen Avenue. I talked with our PennDOT representative. We can put both of these on out for bid with the explanation of the fact that to the bidders that we're only going to choose one of them. The Second Street would, if they came in around 1250, you know, a square yard, we'd be able to do Second Street and mill, you know, all the way up to Blakesley Avenue. Wouldn't be a big deal then to finish Second Urana Avenue next year. And unfortunately, if they wouldn't bring that number down on Second Street, we could jump on North Street and take care of that. Even at the higher price, that would work. So that's the way we want to go out and approach it. We're going to put them both out and see where they come in, and then we can select, you know, Second Street if it comes in at a good number.
So I might understand that the price is going to determine which one we can or cannot do.
Yes, right.
And then as far as being the street supervisor, which one would you rather have done?
Second.
We talked about this last year.
We talked about it a few days
Talked about
ago.
it the year before that.
Is there a chance that we'll have enough money to do Second Street?
If they drop, now, I had gone through and I was originally running the numbers at $14.50 a square yard for the material, you know, for the job.
Right.
And I asked for ballpark numbers and they were coming in around 12. So if we can hit it at 12 or 12.50, we can do Second Street. No
Well,
problem.
I know the oil prices per barrel, that's coming down on a weekly basis, so, because of Trump's drill baby drill, but, I know the blacktop has a lot to do with the oil prices. So possibly we'll be able to do Second Street.
At least up to Blakesley. But the rest of it, next year we'd be able to do, it's a short distance on Urana Avenue. And have that one complete.
So do we need a motion on that discussion or not?
No, I guess,
Yeah,
no, it's just
Yeah, but you're gonna
informative.
put it out to bid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
But I just wanted to let you know where we, you know, stand on it.
right, okay. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the sale of impound yard vehicles and equipment.
We have one that we want to add to it. And we have 3 others that are going to go on as soon as, once you approve this one, we'll put them all on.
So we just need a motion to
Yep, to approve that.
approve the sale of the impound yard vehicles and equipment.
Yep,
Do we receive all the money for that?
yeah.
Because I know before you said sometimes the county takes money or something, but is that all ours then?
No, that's all ours.
Or was that, PJ said that?
I didn't say
State
anything.
vehicles.
I said nothing.
No, nothing.
All I said was, when are we going to sell those vehicles back there? Because before you know it, we'll have a Harry's You Pull It yard back there. That's all I said. And now there's action to get rid of these vehicles. Now, I don't know what the problem was. I have an idea where it was, but
Oh,
we'll go from there.
no.
So you might explain.
So we need a motion to, for the sale of the impound yard. I guess the police will take care of that.
Yep,
Not the yard, the vehicles in the yard.
yep.
We set like a 30-day time on it so that they actually get done?
Yeah, they're going to get done. I just need this last car to be put on. And then we'll put them all on. 4. Right? We have 4? Did, excuse me,
Oh, you're good.
was,
Alex,
yeah, were you here about the vehicles?
you called inquiring about them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we did, but.
Yeah, they'll be on Municipid,
Okay.
okay? Right, and hopefully we can get them on this week.
I've been meaning to come to more meetings.
Okay.
How'd you like it so far?
It's informative.
Yeah, very. Yeah. But anyway, we need a motion for the sale of the impound yard vehicles and equipment.
All right, I'll make a motion for the sale of the impound yard vehicles and the equipment.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. Sell the vehicles and equipment. Last thing on the agenda for now is discussion on the form of government. And I can lead off with that. Our form of government is 50 years old. It's not a good form of government. The council president should be elected like all other municipalities in the whole state, should be elected by the people sitting here that are elected instead of, in my case, I'm elected by the people who vote for me. So you don't have a choice. I'm going to be your president of the council until I get out of office. And I don't like that. I think everybody should have a different chance at it, and there should be a different squeeze. The other thing is, as far as the mayor is basically the mayor form of government that we have. It does exactly what I did today. I gave a proclamation, and I could also do a state of emergency. That's it. I don't even know what the mayor's position is. They have a strong mayor in Lehighton, don't they?
They have the traditional, I wouldn't say strong, they have the traditional mayor,
right.
in Lehighton, and Jim Thorpe.
Right, because I knew, like Franco, he was the mayor of Jim Thorpe, and I said, man, I don't get that. I don't do that stuff. But I think it could mix things up. And what we would actually need to do is, from the talking to the State Boroughs Association, Ron Grutza, he said our government is far and few between. And as a matter of fact, Senator Argel told me, and he was the head of the state government committee in the Senate, and he looked up here and he saw my name and he said, you're president of the council and mayor, and he said, there's only 5 municipalities with our form of government. The rest, out of the 900 and some, they have a traditional form of government. And when I talked to the election bureau, I think I mentioned it before, they said all we need to do is have our solicitor draw up a referendum, a short one, that's easy to read. They don't have to sit there a whole 15 minutes and start reading it, and let the people of Weatherly vote on it. I am sure that when that form of government comes through, it goes on the agenda, I am sure that our form of government will be dissolved because it's useless. There's nothing good about it. I mean, if somebody could tell me here now what's good about the form of government we have, I'll, whatever. I always say, I'm the mayor who can't do anything. Nothing, except declare an emergency. I'm the president of council. And that's not even by your choice. You may not want me to be president of council, but you don't have a choice because the people elected me to be president of council and I stay there forever. I don't want that. So I would just like somebody to make a motion even to say that we ask the solicitor to put it on the referendum. We're not going to vote on whether we're going to eliminate the government or not. All we're going to do is vote to say, let's put it on a referendum, let the voters vote on it, and be done with it. Because this form of government for the last 50 years is not good. I'm telling you. And I've been in government for 40 years. It's actually laughable, our form of government.
I don't know, it seemed like it worked fairly well for a lot of years. I mean, I don't know, all of a sudden it's no good.
Well, think about what's good about it. And then I'll tell you what's bad about it.
we've always kicked things around here as a group and never had problems.
Right?
I mean, none of us are looking for a power trip or anything.
Oh, I don't
You know,
want one.
I mean, you know, there's meetings I left here pissed off, you know, because I didn't get what I wanted, but I got over it in a hurry.
Right.
You know? I mean,
Right.
I just thought the way we kicked things around, and if needed, we had workshops. I mean,
What would you have against changing our form of government to a regular form of government rather than the optional plan that we have now? And why not just go by Title 8 and Title 53 of the Pennsylvania Code and say, that's the way government's supposed to run? They picked this plan of government, I have no idea why. Man, I was only 18 years old when they did this. So, nobody else has it. And there's a difference, there's a big difference. The mayor has no control of anything. Not that the mayor has to have control of anything, I'm just saying, I was trying to find out, what does the mayor do? Sit around and read storybooks to council? You know, what's my job?
no, we sit here and listen to your input.
No, I know
I've always
that.
respected from Connors to you. When you guys say something, I sit here, shut up and listen.
Well,
You know, I
no.
respect you to the mayor, so you're getting the respect of council.
Well, the thing of it is though, if you think about it, our form of government, if I'm president of council, and then the mayor, if you look in Title 8 and Title 53, he is the tiebreaker vote. I'm actually given, by our government, I'm given 2 votes.
Is that true, Jim?
No,
No, but,
it's not.
well, if you think about it,
You don't get to break tie. You're actually on council. You are on council.
Well-
So you have an equal vote to the other 6 members of council.
correct.
You can't break the tie. That's under the traditional form of government when you have 7 or 5 council members and you have a mayor who can break a tie. But in this form of government, you have a vote just like the other 6 do. But you can't then say, okay, there's a tie, now I break it.
Well, there can't be a tie.
Well, there could be. It's possible.
Not with 7 votes.
Well, some people don't show up and he's not here.
Well, no.
There's an example. I'm just saying it does happen.
I
Or
asked that question.
someone may abstain at times for some reason. I'm just saying, you don't get 2 votes. I think we've covered that before, but no, you don't.
We
You don't
did.
get to break a tie.
We did. But what if nobody does show up? Who does break the tie?
We don't do that here because in our form of government, we don't have the mayor, a traditional mayor to break a tie.
So why do we have a mayor? I'm just not trying to be wise.
Okay. We did this back in 1976 because
right.
Borough Council at the time, I'm told that they wanted to be innovative and try something different. That's what my dad told me 30 years ago. It was a forward-thinking council who thought, let's do something different. And so what they did, they followed the Borough Code and it sets a procedure that first of all, there had to be a committee. So Borough Council adopted an ordinance to have a commission established, and the commission then looked at different forms of government.
Correct.
There are various optional forms of government. We're not the only type of optional form. There are other types as well. We have the council manager plan. The commission came back and recommended that they change to the council manager optional form of government. And so that came back to Borough Council, this recommendation. Council adopted an ordinance at that point to place it on a referendum, and then
Right.
the people voted on it.
Right.
So, and I know, PJ, what you said earlier is, all we have to do is draft a referendum. It's more than that. It has to either come from, and I haven't researched this, I told Harold, I'm not gonna research this until council asks me to do it, but I've looked at it a little bit. It has to either come from a petition from a certain percentage of our electorate, or it has to come from Borough Council saying, we wish to change our form of government.
The election bureau didn't tell me that. The election bureau told me that all you gotta do is talk to your solicitor, ask them to put it on a referendum, and they'll put it on the ballot. You don't have to go through all the rigmarole.
And I'd be happy to do whatever you ask me to do. I don't think that gets you on the ballot though. Because who's gonna ask, if I draft a referendum and send it down to the election bureau, I would think their answer is gonna be, Nanovic, who are you? I'm the solicitor. So what? I have no authority to do anything.
No, we would have to make a
Right.
motion to say, we want you to draft a referendum and put it on the ballot.
And I think, again, I can look at it, PJ.
I already did.
Okay. I'm just telling you, I think it requires more than that.
Not according to them.
Okay.
And they said, all we need is they need just what we want on is a referendum, and then it's up to the voters, it's not up to us.
I agree. When it finally gets on the ballot, it's up to the voters to make, just like they did 50 years ago. It is then up to the people of this town, the electorate, to make that decision.
That's right, that's correct. So, that was my discussion. I didn't mean to get pushy with you.
No, I think so. I'm just telling you, you know how often this comes up?
Never.
Well, that's why, how the hell did the election commission know it, or know anything about how to do
Because
this? They wouldn't.
It took them 3 days to call the Department of State
Okay.
and get back to me and say, hey, this is what they told us we're gonna do.
Okay.
And I said, okay. They didn't just hand it to me and say, this is what you
Well,
gotta do.
if they actually gave you anything, I'd say I'd love to see it, because the way the statute is written, it says if you wish to change this form of government, you have to go through the same procedure you did when you got this form of government. And that involves adopting an ordinance to get this on the ballot. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know that, I actually would go back and I would look at it, and I would give you an opinion letter as to what you need to do in order to do this, if council wishes me to look into it.
Well, they got the opinion from the State Department, and the Pennsylvania State Department, they control all elections, all 67 counties. And they said that things have changed in 50 years. And I agreed with that. And they said, all your attorney has to do is get the referendum, keep it simple, because people don't want to go out and vote and have to read like 2 pages and say, oh, boy. Hey, either vote yes or no. It's a yes or no question. They said we don't need an ordinance. I questioned that.
I disagree.
I don't care.
I know you don't. I don't care either. I'm telling you, I don't care. I'm telling you, I disagree.
Well, I already researched it, so I'm a step ahead of you.
All right.
But anyway, I don't know, anybody have any discussion on that? Or you think we just leave it alone and let it rest?
I would just like to know what does the town, how does the town benefit? What do we win? What gets better? That's my question.
A lot of things we get better. Number one, right now, we sort of have absolute power, and that's in the borough managers. And the only way that we could correct that is if 4 of us get together in a quorum and say, we're fixing it. We're gonna do something about it. Right now, without the 4 people, you can't do jack. 3 of us could sit around at the table and say, well, you know, I think we should do this. Well, you're not gonna be able to do it. You need 4 people. You need a quorum, or it's not gonna happen. So, actually, the 2 managers, they have absolute power. You do.
Well, the thing is that,
Because we can't contact the employees with our form of government. It says it right in there, and I read it 100 times, so don't question me on that. You're the only one that could talk to them. And you're the only one who would tell them, don't talk to us. And we can't do anything about it.
okay. But anything that we want to do, we have to come to you.
If it's a major incident, yes.
Yeah, any project or anything, I just, like the road project I bring to you guys, you know, you could say, I don't want this, you know, do something different, you know?
Well, you manage every department, correct?
Right.
Well, what do we manage?
Us.
TJ, that's the same thing. Lee Heighton has a borough manager and Jim Thorpe has a borough manager, and the manager manages every department. That's true. They're the way they set it up.
No, you know yourself in Jim Thorpe that the mayor in Jim Thorpe and the mayor in Lee Heighton, they were the chief law enforcement officers.
Right,
Right.
police. I'm talking about, when you're talking sewer, water,
Well, I'm talking
electric,
about the police.
streets.
The police, they're a department.
Okay, well, that's the exception, you're right.
Right.
The
Well,
mayor.
maybe they have other plans, they wanna do stuff, but they gotta listen to our managers. They can't reach out to us because we can't talk to them.
But it would, Okay, but the only difference is in our form of government, the police go to the manager. In the traditional form of government, the police go to the mayor.
Right.
That's the difference.
And then the mayor goes to the managers and say, hey, they need this done, or that's why for years, I mean, before I came online, our police department got nothing. Because the other mayor that we had, he thought he was an absolute mayor, and he wasn't. He was a make-believe mayor. You know, like, so that's the way I look at it. Like, I'm looking at, we'd have a separation of some powers here, and, you know, it just doesn't seem right that, you know, two people are, they call everything. Unless there's four of us that want to sit down and talk every day and say, hey, we're gonna overrule you. But then we gotta call a meeting, we gotta go through all the nonsense, we gotta advertise it. And it's just, I don't know. The form of government reading it just makes no sense. That's all I'm saying. And if you wanna keep it, I don't care. I'm not gonna cry about it.
As far as I'm concerned, leave it alone.
What do you think, Jeff?
I think we should all take and read over this Title 8 and Title 53 so that we can understand what's what.
Well, you're gonna need this guy over here because it's not the easiest thing to read.
It's not the easiest thing to read, no.
So you're gonna have to consult with him.
I don't think we should jump into something new right away. We should at least know what we're looking at.
Well, that's a definite.
What's that, Joe?
I said, that's a definite. I won't be part of something that we change just like that. If we even consider it, I wanna know what's gonna benefit the town.
Right. Well, if you look at all the towns that surround us, ask them how it benefits them, because we're the only ones with this type of government. Everybody else around us has a traditional form of government. So, what do you think, Teresa? You're gonna have to give it some thought and bake some cookies on that one. That's okay. Any answer is a good one. I'm not really trying to push it. I'm just saying, we got this form of government, should we change it? You won't hurt my feelings. I'll still give you a ride home. If not, Tracy already said she'll give you a ride home.
Could I think about it a little bit more?
You could think about it for a week or two.
Okay.
Norm, what do you think?
Well, there's 900 other municipalities in Pennsylvania, and there's only 5 with our type of government. I think it's something to look into.
Yeah.
I wouldn't jump into it, but I think it's something we should definitely look into.
Yeah, there's pros and
And
cons.
you explained a little bit more.
Yep.
You gotta look at it too. Just because we're one of the 5, that doesn't mean it's no good.
No.
Didn't say that.
Everybody has different
Well,
ways of operating.
the thing of it is, the other 4 besides us, they're looking at dropping form of government. That's why I'm bringing it up. Then we will be the only one in Pennsylvania with this form of government.
Then maybe they'll be jealous of us.
Maybe they're what?
They'll be jealous.
Jeff, why don't you go back to sleep? Well, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring it up. But, what do you think there, Mike?
Again, I'm open to hear anything out, how it helps the town. That's what I wanna know, what's
Right.
best for the town. How does it benefit?
That should be our major priority.
Nobody knows enough to even, he's the only one, him and Jim have the only idea what's going on. We're sitting here I mean, I don't know the whole deal.
Well, I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah, but you don't expect me to go sit here and tell you, yeah, let's move forward.
I didn't ask you to vote yes because I wanna do it. I just said, I just threw up, it says right on here, discussion on form of government. It doesn't say I'm pushing to do the form of government. I just wanted to let you know where we stand with our form of government, and that is, we're prehistoric.
So you're saying with this form of government, will be like if you're watching, say, NYPD Blues, that council can get rid of the mayor and they could just do things like that? I mean.
No, that has nothing to do with getting rid of the mayor.
You can't do that.
He's elected, but the mayor would have more authority maybe. He'd be more close to management. There's just a lot of things. I mean, Jim could tell you more than me. I've only worked in this foolish type of government since I got elected 5 years ago. You've been around it. Like, what's the difference? I'm funnier?
No, you're not. No, when you say what's the difference, it's just a different form of government. I know you're saying, PJ, you don't like it, and I get it, that's fine, but it's different. That's the only change, as you said, it's different people.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What's gonna happen is then is you'll be able to override, if we decide on things, you'll be able to say, no, we're not doing that.
No,
Actually,
that's not that simple.
Actually, I won't be able to say anything unless there's a 3-3 tie.
Well, no. When
That
you-
would break the tie.
Yes, but let's say you adopt an ordinance.
Right.
He can veto the ordinance. Then council can override the veto. There's a process to do that. I mean,
See
can
ya.
I-
Thanks.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, it's
Thank you for
different.
coming.
And because a mayor has the ability to veto ordinances, and some resolutions he has to do, like the budget. When you guys adopt a budget, the mayor can veto the budget. When you adopt a tax levy ordinance, he can veto it, and then you can override it. So there are different procedures. The difference here is our mayor is part of council, so they call him the mayor. He's really just, he's elected as president of council.
I'm a council member.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and I know you're saying one has more power. I'm not gonna say anybody has, whether the mayor or a council member has more power. I don't even look at it that way. It's just, it's a different function.
This still isn't solving our problem. Our biggest part of our problem is revenue in town. We only have so much money to work with. I know everybody wants to start watching how we work. We could do all of this, but it's still not gonna bring more revenue in.
It will not, no, there's no question, changing the form of government does not bring in more revenue. It's not gonna, that will not change.
And that's like with the employees and stuff. We'd love to give everybody a real nice raise, but I mean, sitting here, you gotta watch. I mean,
I did talk to that Ron Grutza from Harrisburg also. I only spoke to him for a couple of minutes, and I asked him about our form of government, and he said, it's screwed up. He basically said that. And I don't know what his title is, I forget.
He is the chairman of the legislative branch of our boroughs associations in the state.
He said it's definitely a different kind of government.
Well, maybe Jim could correct me, but our form of government that we have says two things. It tells us we can't do certain things, but then it says you could do whatever you want as long as you go by Title 8 and Title 53. So, in Title 53, I think, I did executive orders. You guys stopped me from doing them, and that's okay. Didn't hurt my feelings. But really, I think it's Title 8, specifically says I could do executive orders. Now, you said I can't do that.
I said you cannot, that's correct.
But why does it say, why is option 4 of our form of government, why does it specifically say that that gets us away from the traditional type mayor type government. But we could do anything in Title 8 or 53 that we want. So, realistically, I could write executive orders.
No, you cannot.
Where does it say I can't? That's what I was trying to find.
Because it doesn't say, I want to see where it says you can. A municipality cannot do things that are not there by statute. It's called Dillon's Rule. You are a creature of statute. Statute created you. You only have authority to do those things that are set forth in statute.
What's two statutes, what two titles do we deal with?
You deal with a whole bunch of titles.
53 or the most.
Well, no, okay. Title 8 is the Borough Code.
Right.
53 is all municipal entities. Borough Code used to be in 53. They moved it to Title 8 probably about 10, 15 years ago. You also have things like the Sewage Facilities Act, which is Title 35. You also have zoning, which is, I'm trying to think of which title that is, but that's also part of 53. You have there are different titles that affect boroughs and townships.
Right.
So it's not, that when you say those two, I'm just saying there are other titles of the Pennsylvania statutes which do affect you.
Well, I'm just asking our form of government, what titles actually regulate our form of government?
I would say primarily 8,
Right.
and partially that narrow section of 53, which sets forth the optional form of government, and it spells out the council manager plan in Title 53. It does a whole lot more in 53, because 53 is probably about 15 books wide.
Right.
But that's part of it.
Yeah. So, anyway, in our form of government, we don't have a title.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, what regulates us? And
Title 8 and Title 53.
Right, so if they regulate us, wouldn't I go by those two titles, what I do?
Generally, yes. And your ordinances which you've adopted, yes.
Well, no, that's what I've been trying to find out. I'm not trying to turn things upside down. I'm trying to figure out what in the hell am I mayor for when I'm not a mayor?
Again, we're going through it again, Peter. I'm saying you are on council. You are, look at it primarily, other than, and you said it before, you're president of council. You're elected to be president of council. No one can remove you as president of council. Other than that, you are equal to the other 6 councilmen.
Right, okay, got it.
Then I'll change it.
All right, anybody have any other things about that? Because if we're gonna move on and get going before, there's probably people wanna go home. We need a motion to go into executive session. I'm not quite sure what it's for.
Well, I guess that was for, council had asked, you had a question about, you had the rate sheets. And I'll let Lori tell you,
In executive order.
yeah.
Or
But I have them
executive
for you
session.
here. You asked for the payroll rates.
Okay, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion was made, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Everybody opposed? Okay. We're going to executive session. Did you guys have something that you wanted to say that we were already out there?
Who was Eddie?
Oh. To adjourn.
Make a motion, adjourn.
Don't we have to come back in?
We just did.
We just did.
Joe and Teresa made the motion to come back in.
And Norman, you made the motion